What's good, y'all? My name is Vic Vega again, part 4. Yes, part 4 of the life and times of Vic Vega. And this is what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to be talking about, yes, my new album. I'm going to be talking about my new album today. Well, it's actually nighttime, by the way. Sorry about that. It is May 13th, 2026, 7:15 p.m. So, I got a new album coming out. I'm going to be talking about my new music. So far, so good. I'm 25 years old. I first released my first album, One Day I'll Get My Revenge on the World. Yes, if I edited the video, the picture's right here. One Day I'll Get My Revenge on the World. I dropped that album back on December 25th, 2021. Really liked the album. So far, I had to go back and rearrange some of the songs. It was a double album, but necessarily I tried to make like 32 songs on the album, but it was too much. So I had to trim it down to around 17 songs. I think, yeah. I dropped that album on Christmas back in 2021. Didn't do too well. Well, I was just basically trying to master my rap flow and master my consistency. In 2022, I released my second album, Crank Up the Volume. Crank Up the Volume had like G-Funk genres to it, similar to 90s G-Funk from the West Coast. But my first album, One Day I'll Get My Revenge, was just basically underground beats, underground beats, but also conscious music as well. It was underground, so I consider it as an underground classic. My third album, it was not released in 2023. 2023, I didn't drop any material, but I had an album called Year 2023. This was going to be my third album, but I scrapped it because it just wasn't I wasn't in the right headspace at that time. But soon as 2023 was over, 2024, I released my album, one of my greatest albums in my career, A Thin Line Between Life and Death. A Thin Line Between Life and Death is one of my good albums I ever did in my career. It was the third album. It had like conscious rap, East Coast beats, good storytelling. The genre fits my vibe. I was into like conscious rap, hardcore beats. That's what I was into in my career. That was my third album. I released it back in December 1st, 2024. Happy with the album. 9 good tracks. Really loved the production. And my fourth album. My fourth album was called 2000, The Beginning of a New Chapter, released on 2025, November 25th. I wouldn't consider it, I would just consider it as a surprise album. It was a surprise album because I said to myself, I needed to drop albums consistently because consistency has always been my main focus. I've always admired consistency in my career. So I dropped 2000 album. It had like about 10 songs on it. Really loved the production. but it was not my best effort. It was one of my weakest albums I ever did in my career, but I'm still happy with the album. Now here is what things get so interesting. It gets interesting now in 2026. Since 2000 dropped back in November 25th, 2025, 3 months later, I dropped my greatest album of all time in my career. I promise you. My fifth album was released on February 2nd, 2026. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I dropped the autobiography of Lennox Kitty Dennis, February 2nd, 2026. My best album I ever did in my career. It was worth the wait. I really loved the production. 35 classic songs, double album. It was a great album, a masterpiece. I was so passionate when I made that album. I didn't get any help from anybody at all. No help from no producers, no songwriters. I did this all by myself. I promise you. This album was made all by myself. I swear to God, I swear to Allah, I swear to on Jesus Christ, I swear on my life, I made this song. I made all the songs and I made the album all by me, independently. It had the album last up to around 3 hours. 3 hours, had 35 songs. Great storyline. I love the concept behind the album. It's a concept album about the album was about me struggling to become a famous rapper. It's about a man who was struggling in life, struggling with everything happening in his life. It triggers him into falling into a deep depression. He becomes depressed and he has thoughts on committing suicide because he couldn't handle all the pressure happening in his life, such as childhood trauma, childhood experiences, suicide, family violence, drug and alcohol abuse happening in the community. Well, in multi-families in general, because multi-families have one of the worst outcomes when it comes to drugs and alcohol abusing the community. Also, school bullying. What else? Generational trauma, generational curses has been a never-ending cycle on innocent children who get trapped in their life cycle of violence in the family. So I wanted to make it as a personal album. When I made this album, it was my most personal album I ever did in my career. The autobiography of Lennox Kitty Dennis was first made back in June 2025. I started writing down lyrics. I had to find a way to write new material. I needed to write new material because I felt like I needed to drop more albums in my career. That was my fifth album. Happy with the production. The genre was mainly conscious rap, conscious hip hop with deep lyrics, meaningful storytelling. When I was making this album, I was inspired by other albums such as Pink Floyd's The Wall. Pink Floyd's The Wall was the album that inspired me to write this album. And also Purple Rain from Prince, because those were the two main albums that inspired me to make my own album. it was very, I was going through a very rough time when I was making the album. I was depressed. I was depressed during 2025. The only reason why I felt depressed during 2025 was because of my job. My job was putting pressure on my shoulders. I worked a shitty job at a 9 to 5 job. Housekeeping managers were betrayed. They were betraying me. They showed their true colors towards me. They were bullying me a lot. So I had to quit the job. I quit the job in early 2026. Happy that I quit that housekeeping job. So I had to figure out that I needed to find something else to do with my life. Because when you're working a 9 to 5 job, it just becomes demoralizing. I know most younger generations can understand us when it comes to how working a 9 to 5 job just ruins your mental health. That's why I needed to leave. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I said, fuck it. I quit. No regrets. So after I left the job, I dropped my most critically good album to me, my best album, February 2nd, 2026. Booyah. Love the album. I got some good feedback from people online, Instagram people. Strangers were my biggest supporters more than my shitty friends and co-workers and shitty, you know, strangers were the ones supporting my music career. So I did it. Some people like the album, some people like the songs, but majority of the people who listen to my songs were just saying the album is very long. This album is so long. I can't stand to listen to hearing an album that it's 3 hours. But they respected my hustle. They respected my grinding, that I put in the hard work, and I was happy. You know, I was very happy when I made that album. That album has to be my most personal album in my career. I'm so happy that I accomplished that album. Now, as we get to the final bit of this video, after I dropped the autobiography of Lennox Kiriko Dennis back in February 2nd, 2026, I got a new album coming out. Happy that I got some songs structured. I wouldn't necessarily call it a concept album. I would just call it as a side quest, I guess. I'll just call it a, side quest. But that was a good album. The album's good, my new album. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but I'm gonna figure it out. The new album is going to be releasing on June 6th, 2026. Gemini season. You know what I'm saying? I don't really mind. I haven't dropped an album in Gemini season before, but it'll be so funny if I did. Because honestly, Gemini people, I hate Geminis though. Honestly, they're the most, Gemini people. It's like when you try and try and be nice to them, when you try and talk to them, they get easily upset. Majority of Geminis get easily upset when you try to talk to them, when you're trying to tell them a joke, but they can't take a joke properly. But I am dropping a new album in Gemini season, but therefore I'm just gonna tell you that there's gonna be like 10 to 15 songs on the album, but I'm trying to sort out what songs I really need on the album, because I got a lot of songs prepared. I do got a lot of songs prepared, but I'm just trying to be careful with the album. But also with promotion. Well, promotion is way important than just the album. But I wouldn't consider trying to find promotion, because I'm just wanted to just drop an album because I want to show just my talent online, just showcase my talent, because I just wanted to be talented as possible at a very young age, accomplish my dreams. That's what I'm going to do all my life. Until I die, until I accomplish my dream, I'm going to make that happen all by myself. Because I did everything on my own. And I'm very happy with what I did. The title of the album, I'm going to call it I don't know. But soon, I'll let you know what the album title's gonna be. Oh my goodness, 17 minutes? Oh my goodness. Wow. That's insane, dude. Part 4, dude. I really am happy with what I did in my music career. 5 albums independently. Nobody helped me. I did this. I grinded it all by myself. But I got a 6th album coming out. Let's be sure of that. Well, I guess that's about it. So stay tuned. I'm gonna wrap this video up for today. Hopefully in the future I get to make more videos for all of y'all. But stay tuned for my new album coming on June 6, 2026. Very happy that I get to drop the album when it comes to that date, Gemini season. But Virgos are the best. You know what I'm saying? We're the best. Virgo is the best. Virgo. Vigo. Virgo. The best. August Virgo is the best. Michael Jackson's the best. Michael Jackson is the best. Vic Vega's the best. Chris Tucker's the man. Chris Tucker the GOAT. Michael Jackson the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. August Virgo's the best. We don't claim September Virgos. We don't claim May Gemini. We don't claim June Gemini. We don't claim Cancer. You know. I'm gonna just leave it like that. But it's good though. Thanks for tuning in to listening to this video. My name is Vic Vega. Stay tuned for my new album coming out on June 6, 2026. Be sure to be prepared. It'll be released on all streaming platforms digitally. Let's see what happens. And until then, Vic Vega forever. Peace, y'all. P.S. 2026 will be my year.